Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, the last time we had protests in this country, William Ruto took the military to the street. And we know what the military were able to do. In fact, the military officers were so friendly to the protesters. They never used live bullets. They only patrolled and even had a friendly engagement with the protesters. To an extent, the protesters were reporting the police officers who were using excess force to the military. We all saw that happening. And after the patrol, military went back to the barracks. And today, we have Nane Nane protest taking place. Ruto has been warned in a mixed reaction by the church and the parliament over taking the military again back to the streets to go and stop the protest. I've listened very well to Pastor T. Mwangi, and he's talking about the issue of taking the military to the street. They don't allow military to see the street. They might get ideas. Which ideas are these? Because the more you take them to the street, they see what is happening there. And remember, we can never have a police takeover. It can only be a military takeover. And when they take over, the police now become civilians. That is it. And when they take over, of course, they suspend the constitution. That is the truth. So as Ruto take the military to the street, if he will indeed try this again, then the reality is that the same military are the ones who will show him the door.
A man said on TV, don't allow the military to see the streets. They might get ideas. That's how people overthrow cities. Now, let me give a good example. And I speak under the anointing. If all of us decide to march to State House, will the military kill all of us? No. So what will happen? A military takeover. Are we ready for that? Military takeover, it means constitution suspended. Ronnie, you are here. They rule by orders. For how long will Kenyans regret after we've made wrong choices? Every time we always say, we were told not to do this, then we do it, then we regret. Can we now sit down and sober up and say, listen, we have a whole future ahead of us. We can plan and think. We can build a nation within a generation.
MP Faram Ali also talked of the same in reaction to what happened in Bangladesh just the other day. You're talking about Sudan and even other countries where we have had a military takeover. So it is all about, playing into the hands of military. And here in Kenya, it is clear who is encouraging military to go to the street. If Ruto believes that military is going to save his presidency, then he is dreaming. And indeed, these people are, telling Ruto the truth. In as much again they are warning the people that you are protesting, the more you continue, military will take over. But again, who is taking military to the streets? It is the president. Will he have or maintain his presidency? Or he will flee out of this country in case what happened in Bangladesh will be encouraged here in Kenya?
Mr. Speaker, I have been around for quite a long time. I remember the first cabinet of this country, how it was, all the way to the one we have here now. I think this country is better united today. With all these demonstrations and the rest, I have seen what a failed.
Done. John Waluke, I added you a minute, yes. Yes. Give him 1 minute.
Thank you.
Give him 1
Mr.
minute.
Speaker, I have seen what a failed state is like. People were laughing the other day, yesterday, that Bangladesh civilians have gone and taken over the State House. Bangladesh is under military rule today as we talk. It's under military rule, and watch what is going to happen. Mr. Speaker, the same thing that we are seeing here is what was in Sudan. Young students, my daughters went to school in Sudan, going out there and demonstrating and saying revolution, revolution, revolution. What do we have today?
Now, we are continuing with this final discussion, but just a quick request. For those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much. And back to this discussion. Now, the truth is that we should not warn people not to protest when things goes wrong in this country. Our constitution allows us to do so. There was a reason why, this constitution was protecting the public and giving power to the public. Like what happens in US. In US there is protest like every day. If you feel something is bad, you have your right to go and protest about it, speak about it, make noise about it. And the action will be taken. Now here is where we draw the line. The problem in Kenya is that even when you go to protest, the government will not take action to solve that problem. They will give it a blind eye. They will give it a deaf ear. And they will proceed. You see corruption, you make noise about it, you go and protest, they will not take action. So that's where we draw the line. Alafu mnasema kwamba watu waache kuandamana, wakiandamana, military will take over, they will be killed and all. So those who are failing our constitution, it is the people who are in power. William Ruto, Shagwa, Mudavadi, and the Kenya Kwanza regime. How? Ndio wanafanya hayo maneno. Na wabunge pia. Because we need to see a solution to the problem whenever an issue has been raised. To a conclusion that we've talked about this and this, we followed up, we have found those who have committed this, it is so and so, and the matter has been had to a conclusion, the person has been punished and paid dearly. Here ifanyike hapa Kenya. So you protest, keep on. Even to some extent, when you fail, you have to resign. Here in Kenya, it is a dream. But the fact remains that when Ruto continues to think that threatening Kenyans to stop the protest is by taking the military to the street, he is digging a grave for himself. The same military he will take to the street, they are going to test power. And power is street. When you show them the street, the street, you also give them idea. They look at the things people are complaining about. Are they genuine? Are you offering the solution? If not, why do you want to use them, to secure your power and leadership, yet you are not serving the interests of the people? They are going to tell you to resign. Just the same way they told the Bangladesh Prime Minister to resign, they will ask you to resign. Because when people get out in their numbers and they walk to State House, you can't kill everyone, like the pastor put it. So what do? You give in. They will tell William Ruto, please, you resign. Otherwise, you are causing anarchy. Resign. And Ruto will go. We had the other one when the late president of Zimbabwe, Mugabe, I think the military was fair. He was asked to resign, and a note was given to him to read, and that was final. Then they had an election, and they have Inangungwa in power. That was military. But, in this one, at least they were diplomatic. They don't want the military to take over, but at least a transition. So, anything can happen. Military have power. They can control. They can make a... Wanaweza toa mtu na waingize mwingine. That's the reality. So, the message here is that military will not save William Ruto's presidency. But instead, they can help to take him home. And again, as the police are using excess force, and this is, by the way, one of the reasons why we've heard about those who are in power, sponsoring violence to get, a way through to use excess force on protesters. Because wanajua, once you use excess force without a reason behind this, even the military is watching you. So they want to justify their killing and, brutal attack on the youth by manufacturing violence. Pay goons to go and infiltrate peaceful protesters. Then after that, you justify the arrest, you justify the live bullet shooting, and all those severe injuries. They do so to protect their power. So I'm sure Ruto will not repeat the mistake he did because we knew what the military were able to do. They just watched. Why were they friendly to the protesters? And when the police come in, they say, we don't want protest, do not protest. Why? Yet the constitution give us that power. So it is clear, ukicheza na military, na hao watacheza na wewe. So let military be in the barracks. You deal with the issues as people raise these complaints. Don't tell people not to protest. Let them protest whenever there's a problem. But your work is to solve those problems. Because I'm not seeing anything new that Kenyans are asking for. Of course, which Ruto has delivered, but still they are asking for the same. For example, Ruto said that he will deal with the issue of police officers who have used excess force on protesters. There are going to be investigation. Hiyo investigation imefika wapi? What about those who are injured in the hospitals? Kuna watu walipigwa, wakaumia, wengine na marisasi kwa hospitali. Who is footing the bill? Si mambo kama yatarudisha wananchi kwa maandamano kwa barabara. Yes, he gave an order, release every person who was arrested because of the protest. That happened. But what about those who are in hospital? Why is he not giving an order for them to be released? What about compensating the victims? So, because he has been too much into rhetoric than action, the youth will just be on the street. And what Kenyans have learned is that this regime only listen when you protest. If you keep quiet, they don't listen. So if they have learned that the way, then what will stop them from protesting? Anytime they feel that there's a problem, the only way to communicate is through protest. So maandamano yako yatakuweko na yataendelea. Lakini Ruto ajue ya kwamba the more there is a protest, the more his presidency is under threat. He might think he's safe, but he might not survive if he's not careful. So being careful means solving the problem. but not threats and intimidations. Whatever happened elsewhere, it can still happen here. That is the warning as the youth goes to the street to protest and make some noise to let their voice heard.